What is your favorite insult of all time? Bob Ross would call you a mistake. Expected nothing. Still disappointed. I get why people talk about you when you're not around. Your ass must be jealous of all the it that comes out of your mouth. Isn't it rather dangerous to use your entire vocabulary in a single sentence? I overheard a student at my school addressing the 8th grade twats that would harass anyone. I bet your parents change the subject when people ask about you. In the 70s, the Cleveland Browns fans would throw paper airplanes in the stadium. A lawyer, who was a season ticket holder, sent a letter to the Browns stating that if he or any of his guests were injured he wouldn't hesitate to sue. It was given to a junior lawyer at the Browns organization. He sent the letter back and wrote, "Attached is a letter that we received on the 19th of November, 1974. I feel that you should be aware that some asshole is signing your name to stupid letters. One of my all-time favorite burns. You are proof of anal conception. You're about as useful as in Frank's drum kit." I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. It's amazing how you brighten up a room when you leave. Are you a professional moron, or just a gifted amateur Carl Johnson? I always liked Capt. Mal Reynolds to Jane. Well, my days of not taking you seriously are certainly coming to a middle. There are approximately 1,010,300 words in the English language, but I could never string enough words together to properly express how much I want to hit you with a chair. Alexander Hamilton. You're not a mistake, you're a regret. I hope your day is as pleasant as you are. You're about as useful as a paper condiment, you're worth even less. When someone says go duck yourself, respond with, "Duck me yourself, you coward." I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are unarmed by Shakespeare. I'd love to see things from your perspective, but I'm afraid that I can't shove my head that far up my ass. When they circumcised the right honourable gentleman, they threw away the wrong bit, said in British Parliament, I believe. You're not pretty enough to be this stupid. You're not being the person Mr. Rogers knew you could be. If brains were gunpowder, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. I would explain it more for you, but I have neither the time nor the crayons. My dad, some d-head, must have swapped out my daughter for a stupid prick while I wasn't looking. One time I called a kid a chromosomal wasteland, and I feel like no one's ever properly appreciated it. Pretty much anything attributed to Winston Churchill. Paraphrased, "Sir, if I were your wife, I would poison your drink. Madam, if I were your husband, I'd drink it." Mr. Churchill, you are drunk, yes, and you're ugly, but tomorrow I'll be sober. Cock juggling thunder cunt. Gordon Ramsay's, what are you, an idiot sandwich? Damn. Did your mother only have plastic coat hangers or something? You couldn't pour piss out of a boot if the instructions were on the heel. Boss to his employee after giving them his daily work, and when you've gone and ducked that up, come find me so I can fix it. Either your birth certificate was an apology letter from the abortion clinic, or you are as useful as a screen door on a submarine. As a highly unlikable person, I find it's hard to keep track of all the people that want to kill me, don't you? Alan Shaw, Boston Legal. Also, there are 10 million particles in the universe that we can observe. Your mama took the ugly ones and put them into one nerd. Stephen Hawking. Epic rap battles of history. Einstein vs. Stephen Hawking. You couldn't arouse suspicion. If I wanted to kill myself, I would jump off your ego and land on your IQ. You're like the first piece of bread in the bag. Everybody touches you, and nobody wants you. If you were to die, the world would spin twice as fast, not being weighed down by your denseness. If your brain were gasoline, it wouldn't be enough to power an ant's motorcycle halfway around the inside of a Cheerio. I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt off elderberries, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The Rock is a gold mine, but one of my favorites is the SNL where he's working in a Hawaiian restaurant, all disgruntled because he has to wear a hula skirt and sing to a ukulele. And he's like, here's a fun fact about Hawaii. Our biggest export is coffee, and our biggest import is fat white tourists. Don't you have to be stupid somewhere else? I am jealous of people who have not met you. Every breath you take is a stunning endorsement of abortion. Now that I understand fully what you're telling me, I'm even less impressed. I'm gonna slap the smell of D right out of your mouth. Female bar goer to female bartender. You clearly have a small D. You would have had a big one, but you've shoved yen into your personality. There was this dude who wrote the poem. A really beautiful poem about how the 7 winds of the world couldn't move him. When she sent it across the lake to his friend just wrote the equivalent of fart on it and sent it back. The dude who wrote the poem was furious, and he went across the lake to complain in person. All his friend says when he gets there is, the 7 winds of the world can't move you, but a fart sends you across the lake? It's like God spilled a person. You'll never be half the man your mom was. I don't have the energy to look at your face. I'd call you a cunt, but you lack the warmth or depth. No offense, but you make me want to staple my cunt shut. A supercomputer calculating for 1,000 years cannot get anywhere near the number of FKS I do not give. I heard it somewhere. Don't know where. I like using it. Cantonese swear that translates to, duck your mom so hard she hits the roof. On the roof there is a bomb. The bomb explodes, killing her and your whole family, asshole. You look like a before picture. You are a lesser son of greater sires. You only wear panties to keep your ankles warm. When you were born, the doctor slapped your mother. There's a word for you, but it's not used by polite society outside of a kennel. She is nicely dressed. The only thing she forgot to wear are tits, my mom, while watching one movie. Tucker, there is a very fine line between not listening and not caring. I like to think I walk that line every single day of my life. Red vs blue, church to Tucker. You're not as dumb as you look. I'm not angry, just disappointed in you. I'm not insulting you, I'm describing you. Ha, you have a very unique perspective on that subject. Asai, don't like me, do you, Rick? Asai, if I ever thought about you I wouldn't. From Casablanca. In boot camp, our chief would say to anyone whose uniform was jacked up, that they look like a soup sandwich. That has always stuck with me. It's alright, just be yourself. At a bar my friend ran out of cash for the bartender's tip. He told the tender he'd be back with a tip and the bartender just smirked and said, sure buddy. My friend did in fact come back and attempt to give the guy his tip, but another bartender was there and plainly and coldly said, it's alright man, just be yourself, shaming him for what he thought was who my friend really is, a non-tipper. Now I use it all the time. My husband gets up out of guilt to help put kids to bed after I've done the bulk of the work. I just pat him on the shoulder and say, it's okay man, just be yourself. I bet your pussy looks like a hobbit's foot. If you were any more inbred you'd be a sandwich. Shut your cock holster before I kickstart your face. I'd take my comeback, but it's still on your sister's face. There's a Facebook group called OP Eats Corn on the Cob long ways. My grandfather once told my grandmother if you had a second brain it'd be lonesome. You think you're the hottie on a golden platter, but you're just a cold turd on a paper plate.